chairman, Ben Harris-Quinney, is the chairman of the Bow Group, the oldest conservative think tank in the UK. Hello, Ben.
Hi.
Hello there. Tom Rivers, ABC Radio News correspondent in London. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Stephen.
Good evening. And Benedict Pavio.
Correct.
I got it right, Benedict. I'm not good with names.
You hesitated, but you got it bang on.
I'm not good with names. You wouldn't know how to French.
You are.
You wouldn't know how to French degree, would you? UK correspondent for France 24, and Jenny Russell, the political columnist at the Times, who voted to remain. Hello, Jenny.
Hi.
Right, so we've got all four of you. Ben, we'll start with you. I guess the last few calls we've had, people very much down the dumps, even questioning the knowledge and the capacity for voters to understand what they were voting for. And they're to a certain extent trying to infer that people have made a mistake here.
Well, I suppose, of course they would, because they passionately believe that Britain should have remained in the European Union. I believe in the wisdom of crowds, if you like, and I believe in the wisdom of the British people. And I think it's pretty difficult to imagine that many people making a mistake. I think you've got to acknowledge really what the British people have said, rather than assuming it's a mistake or they've misjudged it. I think it's an acknowledgement of the future that the people of this country want to see. But that said, we've also got to acknowledge that it was quite a tight vote, about 52 to 48. And so whoever leads this country now has to take the whole country with us. And I wouldn't be someone to crow and be too jubilant in the face of those that have lost and seen their vision for the future of the country maligned. So I hope we can find a way to use this to have a national conversation and move forward together as one nation.
Tom?
Yeah, well, I tell you, Americans have been watching this very, very closely today, maybe the last couple of days. It was not on the radar last week. But a lot of questions today, and a lot of two-ways from New York to L.A., questioning what does it all mean? Is the special relationship still special? What's the deal with Washington and London? Are they
Is it still as special, Tom?
I don't think it is. I think in the past, Washington viewed London as its key to open the door into Europe and to a way of getting influence.
Well, we remind ourselves of President Obama's comments just a couple of weeks ago that we would be at the back of the queue for trade.
Yeah, and in retrospect, if you use American parlance, if you do a Monday morning quarterback, probably have been wiser if he said absolutely nothing, because I think a lot of people were taken aback by that, saying, keep your opinions to yourself. We're going to decide what we're going to do on our own. So that, who knows? That probably didn't sway any votes at all, and it may have put some people in the leave camp.
Jenny Russell, what's your take on things here? You voted to remain. Obviously, you're disappointed.
Yeah, but it's not a personal disappointment. I just think that very few people understood what the consequences of leaving were going to be. That's why people were astounded by the way that the pound plunged and the markets reacted, and Moody's has downgraded the British credit rating. There are a lot of comments on Twitter from people saying that they had no idea that this was going to happen to them. But the thing that I fundamentally am unhappy about is I think lots of people who voted to leave had very good reasons to feel intensely dissatisfied with their lives and with their frozen wages, and too many people they feel coming into the country and competing for jobs and housing and hospital places, all the rest of it. But the real deception is that leaving the EU is going to answer none of those questions. The people who lead the Leave campaign are right-wingers who had no intention of addressing any of those issues that would make a real difference to people's lives, like taxing the rich more highly, or building more hospitals and schools and services, or making the welfare state more supportive. Absolutely none of the things that people are voting to leave the EU for are likely to happen, not even cutting immigration. That's why I'm so angry today. I don't think it solves anyone's problems, and I think it's going to make people even more disillusioned.
Do you agree with this, Ben?
Well, it's extraordinary to me the million different ways that those perhaps you might describe on the Liberal left fail to hear the British people. The British people have spoken clearly. I certainly think on the immigration issue, either the next leader of the Conservative Party does something about immigration or their tenure will be a short one.
We've had 3 Leave campaigners tonight on this programme, one pre-recorded from a different show. Speaking to Nick Robinson, I believe, Daniel Hannan, who refused to say, in fact he said, that there was never a promise to reduce immigration by the Leave campaign. Nigel Evans, Tory colleague, Leave campaigner, refused to tell me that they had made any promise to the public that immigration would be reduced. He said the promise was that it would be controlled. Gregory Campbell, Democratic Unionist Party, Leave campaigner, said all they promised was that immigration would be controlled, not reduced.
Yeah, well, I think it will be controlled. The question is, the question that...
You know, your heating clock in your house controls the temperature, and you can put it up as well as down.
Well, you can,
This control word is a political word, isn't it?
That control reflects the will of the British people. So
does it?
What Dan Hannan and others there are saying is we're not necessarily going to bring immigration down. We could have larger numbers of migrants coming into the country or fewer numbers of migrants coming into the country. But I think the clear will of the British people is to reduce migration. David Cameron, despite being a Remain campaigner, was also of that view. And so in taking control of our national borders, I think the next leader of the Conservative Party, as I say, will have to reduce and control immigration more effectively, or, again, their tenure will be a short one.